This is Melissa by the Allman Brothers. We're going to start by tuning up. It's not quite in tune with the tuner, so if you have a tuner, don't tune to that, tune to me. Just a little bit off. This way we'll sound exactly like the song. Here we go. We're going to start with the 6th string, the E string. Next up we have the 5th string, A. Next 4th string, D. Next 3rd string, G. Next we have 2nd string, B. And then 1st string, our high E. There we go. Now that we're in tune, let's get started and learn this song. Okay, this is Melissa by the Allman Brothers. We're going to cover both the intro, verse, and chord. Alright, so there's how far we're going to take it. It all starts on an E chord. This is the beginning of the intro. And the way we make E is we're going to use our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and our 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And we're going to strum the whole guitar. Should sound like that. For the next chord, this is actually an F sharp minor kind of shape with a couple of open strings thrown in. So here we have F sharp minor with these 3 strings. And anyway, what we're going to do to make this chord is we're going to slide our 1st finger up to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, and then our 3rd and pinky are going to come to the 4th fret on the 5th string and 4th fret on the 4th string, like so. And then we're going to strum the whole guitar for this one. From there we're going to take that same shape, move it up so that our index finger is on the 4th fret and our 3rd and pinky are on the 6th. And then we're going to move it back down. So we have E, F sharp, G sharp minor, and back to F sharp minor. And by the way, this technique I'm using to move this chord across the open strings is called planing. That's kind of a classical guitar term, but we can use it here. And these are actually suspended chords. So if we wanted the proper name for these, this would be an F sharp minor suspended to a G sharp minor suspended. And I'm going to refer to those chords as that as we go through. So there's our intro. And then our verse starts. He's going to go, crossroads seem to come and go. See, I'm using the same chords. Oh yeah. Then he's going to go back to E. The gypsy flies from coast to coast. F sharp minor. And then here's where it's going to change. We're going to go to A. This is where he says, loving many, knowing none. And what I'm doing here is I use my 1st finger on the 2nd fret on both the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. And I kind of hinge it over so that this open E string, the 1st string, can ring. Like so. And next we go to the 3rd fret with our index finger, 2nd string, and 2nd and 3rd fingers on the 4th fret of the 4th string and 3rd strings. And we're going to play an open 5th string along with this one. And then we move that up to 5th fret. And then from there we're going to use 3rd, 4th, and pinky on 7th fret of the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings along with open 1st string and open 5th string. So this chord sequence. This is the part where he goes, loving many, knowing none. And from there we're going to go back to our E, spreading sorrow, G sharp minor, or F sharp minor rather, having fun. G sharp minor suspended, back to F sharp minor suspended. So we have spreading sorrow, having fun. But back home he'll always run. And those two chords are going to be a C over a G chord, C major 7 actually. And the way we attempt this one is we use our first finger on the second fret of the fourth string and third and second on the third fret of the sixth and fifth strings, along with these open strings here, the open third, second, and first strings. And that's a C major 7 with a G in the bottom. But back home he'll always run. And then here we have a B suspended chord. The way we approach this one is we use our first finger on the second fret of the fifth string and our third and pinky on the fourth fret of the fourth string and third strings. And it's kind of a power chord shape if you're familiar with power chords. Looks like that. And then after that, we just cut back into the intro again. Now the strum to this whole thing is kind of ad-libbed, meaning that he kind of makes it up and feels his way through it as you go along. A good general strum that you can use for this is like... And what I did there is I rhythmically used a down, then up, down. So that's a good basic rhythm. If you want to make it a little more elaborate, see, I just throw a couple extra ups and downs in there. What I'm doing there is down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. And as you go through the chord progression, see there I use this down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, to accentuate the beat. Same thing here. And that last chord, of course, is sustained. So there's our intro, verse, and chorus for the acoustic guitar part of Melissa. Next up, I'm going to take you through the bridge. So there it is. This whole thing starts on the E chord we saw earlier. Again, the morning's come, then the D. Kind of a new chord for us. This one is index finger, second fret, third string, second finger, second fret, first string, and third finger, third fret, second string, along with the open fourth string played. Should sound like that. Then we have A, which we've already seen, to a B, which is another new one. This one's going to have our third finger kind of hyper extended over the fourth, third, and second strings on the fourth fret. And then first finger stretches down here to second fret, fifth string. Then we have C sharp minor, which is index finger across all the strings here, fifth, and what we're doing is covering fifth and first, but you kind of have to put it across all of them to make that work. Second finger, fifth fret, second string, and third and pinky working together here on the sixth fret of the fourth string and third string. Then we go back to A, and then to our B suspended that we saw earlier in the verse. So when we put it all together, we get this. Again, the morning's come. Again, he's on the run. Sunbeam shining through his hair. Better not to have a care. Pick up your gear and gypsy roll on. Roll on. So there we go. There's our bridge. It's pretty straightforward. That covers all the acoustic parts for the song. Now we're going to move on to the electric guitar stuff. This is the lead guitar in the first verse of Melissa by the Allman Brothers. So it'll look here. It's going to look like this. Which is our third finger on the 14th fret, first string bent. Bring it down and then pull to 12th fret on first string. So we have this. From there we go 14 to 12, pull off on the second string, third finger and first finger. From there, second finger, 13th fret, third string, slide from 13th to 11th. And after that we have, which is first finger, 9th fret, third string, hammer to 11th, pull back to 9, and then third finger, 11th fret, 4th string, and then back to our 9th fret, 3rd string note. So when we put the whole thing together, we get this. And then he says, crossroads seem to come and go, and our next fill is going to look like this. And what we're doing here is the 4th string, 9, hammer to 11, first and third fingers. Then 9, 11, third string. Then 9, 10, 9, hammer and pull, second string, first and second fingers, and then 12th fret, second string, and then we're going to bend up and then bring it back down. So that whole thing. One more time for you. And then he says the gypsy flies from coast to coast, and then we're going to throw this lick in. Which is 9 to 11, hammer on 4th string. Then we're going to flip over to 3rd string, 9th fret, 1st finger, and then we're going to hit that note again, and then hammer to 11 and pull off. Then back to 11th fret, 4th string, then 9, 11, 3rd string again. And wrap it up on 10th fret, 2nd string. So that whole thing. And now he's going to say, loving many, knowing none. Which is 12, 9, 10. These are on 1st string. Bend 1st string, 12th fret, and then bring it back down to regular 12th 1st string. So that series of notes is 10, 12, 2nd string, 1st string, 9, 10, and then a bent 12th 1st string, and bring it back down to regular 12. From there we're going to go spreading sorrow, having fun. And exactly what I did there is I went from 12 to 14, move 3rd finger up to 16th, 1st string, we're going to bend it, pluck it, one more time, bring it back down so it looks like this. And from there we go, slide our 3rd finger down to 14th fret, pull to 12th, then back to 14th, and then bend it. So we have and then we have this little figure here, which is our 14th fret note, which is already bent, release, pull to 12, and then regular 14. And then he says, "Too sweet Melissa," which is 12th fret, 2nd string. 3rd finger pops over here to 1st string, 14th fret, and we bend that note. So we have. So when we put the whole thing together, we have this. Crossroads seem to come and go. The gypsy flies from coast to coast. Loving many, knowing none. Spreading sorrow, having fun. But back home he'll always run to sweet Melissa. And then when they come out of the strums, it's going to go into the second verse. And that little last lick is 12, first string. We're going to be barring the first and second strings here with our first finger. Then 14 to 12, pull on second string. So we have 12th fret note again. Second finger 13th, just like we saw in the intro. Slide to 11. And the 9th fret on the third string, first finger. And then he goes into the second verse. So there's all our lead guitar fills for the first verse. Let's move along to the second verse. These are the lead guitar parts to the second verse of Melissa by the Allman Brothers. There we have it. I showed you the last lick that we came out of it with last section in the first verse section. So we're going to start on this note here where he goes, freight trains. Then we're going to hammer to 11th, third string. Each car looks the same. And then we're going to have a little look that looks like this. Which starts with our pinky on the 12th fret, 6th string. And then we're going to walk up the next 3 strings from 9 to 11. Hit that 11th fret, 3rd string note twice, slide to 13th, and then hit it again, slide back to 11. So we have something like this. And then pull the 9th. And then we have 9, 11, 9, hammer and pull. So that whole lick looks like this. And he says, no one knows the gypsy's name. Little hammer there to 11th, and then, which is 9, 11, 4th string. Quick 9, 11, 3rd string hammer. So we have first string pops over here to first finger rather pops over here to 2nd string, 9th fret, and then 2nd finger to 10th. So we have this. Then we hit 10th again, then to 12th, then 9 first string, 10 first string, pull to 9, back to 10, and then a bent 12th. So we have one more time for you. From there we're going to ascend exactly the same way we did in the first verse. So just refer back to what we learned in the first verse for this part that climbs up. And then we end up the same way as we did in the first verse, and then we have this thing. Same thing we had in the first verse. Now when we come out of this, our lick is going to look like this. Which slowly is index finger barring 12th fret on 1st and 2nd strings. We're going to hit the 1st string 12th fret, 14 to 12 pull off on 2nd string, then 12 again, 13 slides to 11, just like we did in the intro and the in-between part of the 1st and 2nd verse. Then 9th fret, 3rd string, then we flip over here to 4th string, 11 to 9 pull, one more pick of the 9th, and an 11, 9 pull 5th string, the same thing we did on 4th string. And then we flip over here for our last note, 9th fret, 3rd string. So our whole sequence looks like this, slowly. put the whole thing together, we get this. Freight trains, each car looks the same. No one knows the gypsy's name. No one hears his lonely cries. There are no blankets where he lies. Do-do-do, whatever the words are there. To sweet Melissa. Then the outro lick. And from there we take it into the bridge, which I'm going to show you next. Alright, this is the electric guitar part to the Bridge of Melissa by the Allman Brothers. We're coming out of that last lick from the second verse into this note here. And this is the part where he goes, again the morning comes, again he's on the run. So what I did there was just a quick 9 to 11 hammer, 3rd string. Pick the 11th one more time, and then we move over here to 12th fret, 2nd string, 3rd finger, bend, and then 10th fret, 2nd string. And then from there we have a 10 to 12 hammer, pick 12th fret again. So our whole thing. Again the morning's come. Better not to have a care. And that next sequence of notes after the word care is 9, 1st string, 1st finger, slide up to 11, and slide back to 9. And then we hit 12, so we have big bend on the 12th fret, and then back down, and then a very quiet 12 to 10 here. You can barely hear it in the recording. It almost sounds like he just kind of hammers the 12th and slides to the 10th, and then we have this bend here on 10th. And that's right before he says roll on. So when we put it all together, we have this. Again he's on the run, sunbeam shining through his hair. Better not to have a care. Pick up your gear and gypsy, roll on, roll on. And then that brings us to our next part, which is 9 hammer to 10, 2nd string. Then pull 10th fret, pick it again, pull back to 9, pick 9 again, slide to 7, pick 7 again, slide to 5th. And that's going to bring us into our 3rd verse after that. So let's take that whole bridge again. Again the morning's come, again he's on the run, sunbeam shining through his hair. Better not to have a care. Pick up your gear and gypsy, roll on, roll on. Crossroads. And then we go into our 3rd verse. So there we have it. There's our bridge. Let's move along to the 3rd verse. This is the electric guitar parts to the 3rd verse of Melissa. Alright, so there's our notes. Basically this whole thing starts with another walk up on the 9th and 11th and 9th and 10th frets on the 2nd string, starting here. It's going to look like that. And what I'm doing here is using my 1st finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string, followed by 3rd on 11th, same thing, 3rd string, 2nd string 9 to 10, 1st string 9, and then 3rd finger pops over here to 12th fret, 2nd string, and we do that twice. From there we have this quick little lick, which is 9 hammer to 10 back to 9, then 11 pull to 9, 3rd string. we have which is 9 hammer to 11, quick note, then to 9, third string, first finger, then second finger, 10th, second string, slide it to 12th, go to 9th fret, first string, similar to what we saw in verse 2, except here we're going to use hammers, 10 pull to 9, then here 10 hammer to 12, and then pick 12 one more time. So we have then we're going to walk up just like we did in both the first and second verses. A little bit of a pause before we do our 16th fret bend here. Listen close to the recording for that. And then back to 12th, our usual little slide from 14 to 12. 14 bent, and just like we did in first and second verse, that little lick, 14, pull down, 12, back to 14, third finger. Too Sweet Melissa. Same exact thing we saw in first and second verses, and then after that, when he goes through the second time and says, she won't stay without Melissa, it goes an octave below, which is 9th fret, 4th string, first finger, followed by 11th fret, 3rd string, 3rd finger. So when we put that whole little bit together there, it's going to be crossroads, will you ever let them go? Will you hide the dead man's ghost? Sorry, I don't know the words to this part. Da 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 da. And I know that he won't stay without Melissa. Yeah, I know that he won't stay without Melissa. So that's how that whole thing fits in with the words. Sorry I forgot the words to the third verse there, but I think you get the idea. I kind of mumbled the melody. So what's more important anyway is that you know the notes and we're able to pick them up from the lesson. Let's move along now to the outro licks. This is the outro guitar parts to Melissa, the lead guitar parts. I'll play triplet kind of feel. Right there, and the notes I'm playing here are 12 on the 6th string pinky, and then we're going to walk right up, 9, 11, 9, 11, 9, 11, and then pull back to 9, and that's the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. Then back to 11. So what I did there is, as I was walking up, we have 9 here, 2nd string back to 11th, 3rd string back to 9th, 2nd string, 10 pull to 9th, and then 12 bent, and then release. So when we put the whole thing together, I know that's kind of hard to follow note by note, one at a time because of the triplet thing, but here's what it looks like when we put it all together. All triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. As you can see. From there, we have a trill between the 12th and 14th fret, first string. Pretty much kind of hammer on and pull off, no picking, see. And then a 14th fret bent, really high. And at the beginning of the bend, he kind of does one of these where he hits it twice in a row, not with the pick, but with a bend. So you bend, release, bend really quick. And then that bend is sustained. And then we have something similar to what we saw in the first, second, and third verses. That kind of a lick. And from there we have kind of an odd lick there, and it's all triplets. Starts way up here on the 12th fret. We'll just start at the beginning, first string. Then we pull from 14 to 12 on the second string. So we have pop, 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 and then we have, which is 12, 14 to 12. Pop, 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 and then 13, 11, 9. Same slide and pull off we've been seeing for a while here. Saw it in all the different verses. And then here, this is a little new. What we're doing here is 11, 4th string to 9, 3rd string, back to 11, pull to 9, 4th string, to 11, 5th string, to 9, 4th string, 11, pull to 9, 5th string. So you can see the pattern there. 11, 9, pull, 11, 9, pull, ended on 12th. 6th string, and then we're going to slide up here 9 to 11, hammer, 2 9s here, and end it on 9th fret, 3rd string. So when we take that whole lick, we have take that one more time for you. Quite a few notes there to keep track of. So if I lost you there, don't be surprised, because it's a very hard lick to explain because it's so long, even if you approach it note for note, or as triplets, or somewhere in between. Really the best thing to do to get that one down is to slow it down using a computer program and play along with it until you get it down. That's what I do when I learn all the licks. I slow it down with a program called SoundForge, and then I'll work the licks up to speed for the video. Alright, from there, things get a little more melodic. And that's going to be our last few licks. So we have 9, 11, 9, 10, 9, 10, 9. Which with a hammer and pull here, pull, hammer, 9th fret picked. After that we have the same idea, except end on 12th fret, 2nd string. So we have one more time for you. And then from there we're going to do the same melodic idea here. We're just going to move it up to 14 and 12. Which is 14, pull to 12, hammer to 14, and then end on 12th, a pick note. And then 12 one more time. Big bend on 14th fret like we've been seeing throughout the whole song. Now the lick that fades out, you can barely hear it as it ends. It kind of looks like this. Basically it's the 16th fret bend thing here. Bring it down, pull to 14th, 12th, 14, 12, 2nd string, 13, 11, 9. Same thing we've been seeing the whole time. 9, 11, and then 11, slide to 9, and then 7th. And when you get to this part of it, you can barely hear it, you know, so don't worry so much about that lick. That's how it goes, but it's hard to hear in the mix because it fades out. So that concludes it for all the lead guitar parts to the song. We've done all 3 verses, the bridge, and the outro. Let's move along and play the whole song along with the recording now.